back. Episode 10. I can't believe we've made it this far. It's been a failure the whole way through, and I've been loving every moment of it. We're in the new year. We're in 2026, and today, special guest, special recording in all sense of the word, because I didn't actually have to ask this person to come on. They were like, can I come on your podcast? And I was like, yes, you can come on your podcast. And so welcome to the podcast, Dylan Cosgriff.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.
Now, I'm a big fan of the cow pants you've got on.
Oh, thank you.
It's really moving me. Yeah, that was the joke.
That's
yeah,
bull.
I know. It's terrible. People are tuning off already.
Yeah.
Nah,
How dare you?
they were like,
That was so cheesy. That's the real that joke. That's the cream of the crop.
I know. This is.
You can stop milking it right now.
I will.
Yeah.
But we're
farming
gonna.
aura. All right, I'm quick.
I know. This is the agricultural capital of the southeast part of the globe, depending on your scale of reference.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming onto the podcast.
No, thank you for having me on.
No, it was great. I mean, you reached out, and I was like, whoa, someone's reaching out wanting to be on the podcast. This is great. And here you are, and we're gonna get into a lot of things. We were having a bit of a chat outside the lovely State Library, which we are in, where democracy is manifest in the city of Melbourne. I'm only marginally upset that only 2 dials were not put in the correct place on the roadcaster. So democracy it's on the way up again. It's on the way up.
It's going all right.
Yeah, the last few episodes it's been tough for me, but today it was better. I mean, we've got so much to go into. I mean, for the people listening, I haven't actually photographed you. So obviously up until now, everyone who's come on the podcast, I have in some way or form photographed at a gig with their band. But your message was a bit different. Yours was obviously, you reached out.
Yeah.
I read through it. It was a great, very clear message. And I was like, fuck. Well, we've got to get this guy on.
Yeah.
And I remember telling 2 of my friends, I was like, whoa, someone wants to come on the podcast. And gave you a call. We organized it.
Yep.
And here we are. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to get into a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's definitely some things that we've planned to talk about.
We have a few outlines.
We have stats. We have words, literature, plenty to get through.
Whole box and dice.
So I'm going to pull back a little bit now, and I'm going to let you take the reins.
Yeah.
And let's start with an overview of the music scene in Melbourne.
Yeah. With the music scene in Melbourne, we were talking about the essay that I wrote for uni, for my final essay that I had to do to finish my degree recently at the Australian Institute of Music. And it was talking about the future of live music and what it could look like in Melbourne and Australia. Because right now we're at this interesting phase where we're out of COVID, but it's still, the effects of it are still ravishing on. And probably in the local scene, the best way that this can be seen is just through the cost that the bands themselves have to pay. So there are a lot of different venues and a lot of different ways that they go about how they do their finances in relation to how they connect with the bands. A lot of bands will end up paying for a sound engineer anywhere between $200 and $400 if they pay it all, as opposed to a venue having an in-house sound engineer that they cover. And a lot of younger bands trying to come up won't necessarily know about these particular costs. And on top of sound engineers, some venues will charge for a door person and require you to use their own door person. That can cost anywhere between $50 to $80 to $100. On top of that, the other very common expense is posters, because it's generally asked of the bands to bring posters into the venue, or we, the venue, can print them off for you for $30. And so, by the time you get to the end of all that, for these specific venues, a young band can be up the creek $700, $800 just to play music. And of course, young band might have sold 10, 20 tickets, which is fine, but it's not nearly enough to cover that. However, amidst all that dire information I've just spilled all over you, there are a lot of venues who are coming up with other ways of making sure that all of their bar staff and all of their workers get paid, and the band doesn't end up, corrupt financially. The Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, I have to majorly commend on the way that they've gone about their strategies. They just have an in-house door person and an in-house sound engineer. On top of that, it's like an 80-person room, and it's not hard to make it look full. So Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, there's a reason why Amel and the Sniffers started there and constantly plug and encourage Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar because it's just run really, really well.
On that, it's like I love going to Last Chance Rock and Roll. Absolutely love it. Shane, Leanne, they do a great job. The food it's good. Yeah. It's just a great place to go after work. Just get a quick meal, and then suddenly, just behind you, sometimes even right next to you, because you got the front bar and you got the band room, obviously. You could have some good rock and roll playing over there. Or you go into the band room, and it's like you said, it's not a huge band room. It's not difficult to pack out. They have an in-house sound engineer. They've got an in-house door person. And you're always getting like a really good band playing at Last Chance. I've watched a really good punk band, Hormones, and then Beth Seymour and the Smoking Lizzies. And then I watched a really like good like death metal kind of band, Deliver Us from Evil.
I know that place.
Freaking, and I was just like, bruh, like both in the span of like a couple of weeks. Dog Watch have been there. And if I'm not mistaken, when this episode comes out, Dog Watch's album would have just come out. So stream that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
right?
Get around Dog Watch.
Get around Dog Watch.
They've given us so much money to say that you don't even know. You don't even know how much we're getting paid to say that.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting paid in just goodwill.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, like I think I'm glad you started with the finances.
Yeah.
Because I think the finances is something everyone likes to skirt around. People just want to have the fun and it's like, we're just going to go and we're just going to have fun.
That's why we start the podcast with, the most exciting, exciting topic. What do we talk about today on BDS Podcast? Well, the economic strategy taken by a lot of these parties is quite
we've just we've turned into like the drive-by show on the way home from work.
Yeah.
And it's like, and now breaking news. And then in the financial sector of the music industry.
106.5.
Yeah. I mean, whatever FM we're going to go on.
Yeah.
But it is something that I always kind of, I talk about it with friends. I might talk about it with you outside the podcast, like, probably that will be a majority of our conversations moving forward. But it is something I'm always thinking about when I look at a room and I know what the ticket price was because I paid the ticket price myself. I do a quick count. I'm like, okay, yep. And it's like, all right, sound guy, as you said, once you play a few gigs, you kind of know what an in-house sound person is, and they're worth their weight. They're worth their weight. If they're good. We're only talking about good people here.
Questionable sound engineers,
and they've been and there's always going to be questionable bands and questionable sound engineers, questionable experiences. But on the premise of it being good, because we only want to talk about good stuff, we will acknowledge some bads, obviously. But I find like if you get a good sound engineer, we had a really good sound engineer at the last gig my band played on the 20th of December.
Which was, that was with Quiet Neighbors?
So 2nd of August we played with Achy Peace and Quiet Neighbors. Shout out to the both of them. I absolutely love those guys.
Jordan Darby.
And then
Nighthawks.
At Nighthawks.
So you would have had Geordie or Joel?
We had Louis.
Oh, Bald Louis?
No, Hair Louis.
Different Louis. Hair Louis.
Hair Louis.
Bald Louis is also incredible. Works behind the bar at Thornbury Local. Sorry, I always get mixed up between Northcote Social and Thornbury Local. And also does sound at Bar Open. He also was at Bad Decisions for a little bit. Top guy. But this other Louis,
I know the Louis you're talking about because
know Louis?
I've seen him at Bad Decisions.
Yeah.
Hint, Thornbury Local, March 21st.
Thornbury Local. Ooh, and they got the open mics every Wednesday as well. Great open mics. I was there recently.
Welcome to the Plugcast.
Welcome to the Plugcast. No, I think it's important to raise awareness of like gig guides. Like this is a bit of a tangent, but the Push Victoria coming out doing God's work. They released the 2025 Youth Music Audiences Report, and it's just every statistic of live music. I was talking about this on my social media a couple of weeks ago when they released the studies, but it's just every statistic you can find about live music, ticket prices, why people will go to gigs, why people won't go to gigs, specifically aged between 16 and 25. And the one statistic that stood out to me was the main reason why people won't go to gigs. And there were about 10 different factors, but the leading factor by quite a margin, 49% of the studies, the the researchees admitted that the number one reason of not wanting to go out to a gig was because of ticket prices. Even if it's $15, like that's not a lot of money for most, but still, like, you know, it's $15. People, as soon as people see money, they kind of turn off a little bit. And this is a hack that a lot of artists will do. And, you know, maybe unethical, but I totally see why it will be done. They won't put their ticket prices on the poster because as soon as someone sees money, they're like, no, I don't want to. So free entry gigs is the obvious answer. You're like, all right, well, let's do a free entry gigs. But there are a few problems with this. Number one, if you do a free entry gig, there's no guarantee that you're going to make any money at all. You could pull 0 people in theory. And then the bar can't pay their bar staff. And then the artists obviously don't get paid. But free gigs are still totally possible. And this is where UniverseFest comes in, which we'll talk about in a second. But, you know, Fed Square recently just had a crazy moment of free shows. Like we had Peach PRC come and do a set. Kneecap killed it. I was at Kneecap. That was awesome.
We almost had Amel in the Sniffers.
We almost had Amel.
But
Amel.
The band that played before them, I'm trying to remember their name because of one of the people I have photographed, they just saw them like a couple of days before that. It'll come to me at some point. But we almost
hang tight, Amel and Sniffers support. You're loved. You're known.
You are just not at this very particular moment.
And then of course we had King Gears come up and do their wild set. And I you know, obviously gate crashing a performance like Amel's gig, that ain't good. But also the implication is that so many people just wanted to go out and see some goddamn rock and roll. It's just a really clear sign that, hey, live music has massive potential right here. It's just money. Like, people don't want to play money. If you can put on free shows, great. But of course, I don't want to
Public
sound
Figures,
naive.
that was the band.
Oh, Public Figures. Yeah.
I actually have a comment about the whole money thing.
Yeah,
and I don't disagree that money is a huge factor. I'm not even surprised that you say money is a big. In fact, actually, if you can link it to me, that'd be great. Because I'm definitely gonna have some midnight reading tonight going through this. I think free gigs have their time and their place. You know, I think free gigs definitely have their time and their place. I also think that from what I see, money is definitely a factor to the people who aren't at the gigs.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're not at the gig and it costs $50 or something, then there's two good chances. One, money's a factor, or you just don't like this kind of music. Right? Yeah. That's going to be, for me, the two big things. And the third one is location. Yeah. Right? So, but just on the money point, I like having that information up front.
Yeah.
And I actually think
all of it up here
that if you don't have a ticket price associated, there's no buy-in. And what I mean by that is that a free gig is almost like, you know, we could go, it's free, it's whatever. But once you get someone to pay for something, they are invested. They're like, I have paid for this.
Yeah, that's
and then I now almost feel like I have to go.
Yeah.
And even if they don't go, there's a benefit to that, which is you at least drew some revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I always tell people, I said, pay the ticket, because if you want to talk about how much you like music and how much you like going for concerts and going for things, I always say, just remember a lot of your biggest fans of whatever, your Metallicas, your Kiss. I mean, you know, I tell people Kiss was a support act and they became a main act because they just put on such a good show. No one wanted to play with them. At least that's how the stories go. And Metallica were just relentless at how they gigged in the Bay Area. And I was like, they weren't probably making a lot of money, but whatever money they did make from whatever tickets did cost at the time does help. Yeah. Nowadays, obviously, you know, bands, whether they're younger or older, a lot of people, you know, they have full-time jobs. A few people are doing it full-time. I think Willie J's are doing it full-time. Yeah. Absolutely love them. Great rock and roll band. I highly recommend people go and check them out. And Willie has done some free gigs. Yeah. He also does paid gigs. Yeah. You know, so there's a time and a place. But I do try to tell people, it's like, paying gives you some level of like investment in this.
Yeah, you get excited.
And I my experience has been that you can charge upwards of $50. I've been to a gig which was $65 at the Curtin Hotel. And when I looked in the room, it was packed.
Yeah.
It was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
Now, you don't need to do a lot of math to realize that that gig probably pulled upwards of gross revenue $5,000 just from tickets, right?
I just emailed you that one, by the way.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. This will be my midnight reading.
Yes, please.
And so $5,000, people say, oh, $5,000, that's a lot of money. I say, well, it's not a lot after you pay the lighting guy and the sound guy and the venue takes a card and this and that. But what has happened out of that is $5,000 came into the pockets of a bunch of people. Albums were sold. So costs were recouped there. The bar staff had something to do. And not just, I mean, bar staff get paid whether they're doing anything or not, but it doesn't hit the bottom line for venues as much when people come, even if it's a free gig, when you come, like we played at the Motley Bauhaus, that was a paid gig, but we had enough people that they could open the bar. Yeah. And I was like, perfect. This is brilliant. And everyone went, why? I said, well, because now people don't have an incentive to go downstairs. They can get the drink right here. Yeah. So we can be playing and they can just take 2 steps back, get a drink, continue watching the performance. Yeah. I was like, that kind of like frictionless experience is so hugely part of a good gig. You can't get that at Marvel because the drinks are all the way back there. Yeah. You have to walk through a sea of people. Yeah. So it's diminished. Yeah. But with a local gig, I always tell people the entry is so minimal. And what you choose to do after that, it's up to you. If you want to have a Coke, if you want to have a beer, if you want to have a wine, that's on you. That's on you. Do whatever feels best. Yeah. But I do think having a minimal amount of financial investment in coming to a gig is a huge factor, even in terms of weaning the people I don't want there.
For ensuring longevity?
In a sense of long-term financial stability, right? Like, again, free gigs have their time and place. Not saying that if you didn't have a free gig, you couldn't. I mean, the band might not make anything, but the bar is at least making something.
Yeah, well, this is where it gets cool because the ideal world would be you have a free gig where your artists get paid. But how can that possibly happen? Well, I've made it happen. So the thing with UniverseFest is that I said this has to be a free entry gig. And here's why. Because we already did an iteration of this type of thing on April 24th, 2024, Saturday night. It was a Penny Black. It was called Self-Titled Fest, and it was held on par with Self-Titled FM. Achy Peace played. They were great.
They told me to ask you about it.
Yes, Self-Titled Fest, man. It was awesome. So it was put on by myself and the 2 self-titled guys. It's just one now, but shout out to Zach Main. What an absolute legend.
That's kind of unironic, isn't it? To have just be one person and then be self-titled.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. But it was Max and Zach, and Max is kind of peeled off, but Zach's still doing it. Zach's still majorly in this scene. Great respect to the guy. He's fantastic. And I pitched this event to him. I said, I want to get all these bands that have been on self-titled, and let's just get like 8 bands and let's put it on a little fest. Everyone gets 30-minute sets. Let's see how this goes. I was also on the lineup with, it was called Dylan's Omens at the time. It was Dylan Cosgriff and the Omens. That was too long, so we shortened it. And, you know.
I'm just doing the acronym in my head.
Yeah.
DCATO. DCT, yeah.
Dictato.
Yeah.
Tic-tac-toe.
It sounds too much like Dick Tattoo.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not with that anymore.
Nah.
But we weren't sure what was going to happen. We had never done anything like this before. Sold out. Like full room. And Penny Black's big room. It's like 800, 900 people full. We were blown away. We couldn't believe it. And so from there, we learned, okay, we can do this. And I guarantee you that, well, as the stats here show, 49% cost, main reason folks won't go to gigs. Location is next at 33%. Like, you can't see it, dear listeners, but that's a margin right there.
So again, the first 3, cost, location, time, not even surprising. Interest 2% lower than time, so being 4th. awareness, community, priority. I get it. Yep, I'm with it. But it doesn't surprise me, all of these things. Like it really doesn't. Because whenever people go, why do you think people don't go for a gig? I said, do you have $300 to pay for Metallica?
Yeah.
And then just scale that up and down. And it's like, well, yeah, it's a combination. Cost is a big one. Time is a big one. Location's a big one.
I like this down here, though. This is nice. So these are the last two actual reasons, because the
lowest of
the lowest. It's belonging and representation. That's really nice that these are the least important reasons to people not wanting to go out at a gig, because it implies that there is a lot of belonging, a lot of representation.
Well, this has always been a question to anyone who comes on the podcast, which is how accepting and welcoming do people feel the Melbourne music scene is. Because my experience has been in the local scene, it's very accepting. It's very, again, it seems that everyone's like, oh, you always get your bad apples. I'm not interested in the bad apples. I'm interested in the overall perspective of the scene. Yeah. And I think the overall perspective is one that is very welcoming, one that's actually quite interested in seeing new ideas presented, whether it be in the form of like sludge metal or stoner rock or punk or grunge or metal or pop or indie rock. It's kind of like, yes, be a bit of cracking happening.
The knuckles.
Yeah. And that is very, I think, a great thing, because you'd never want to find yourself in a position where art is kind of like frowned upon when there is no reason to frown upon it. It's like, okay, you're playing grunge. It's no big deal. Just come play some grunge. Play your drop D, play your drop C, go for it.
You want to do some real avant-garde stuff.
No way.
I still feel as though Fitzroy especially, you can do any form of art there. It's super fringy. It's awesome. There's so much outsider art that's performed in Melbourne. And I say Fitzroy because, like, per capita, most of the venues are there. They're in Sydney Road and Brunswick as well, northern suburbs. Like, any art you want to do, you can for sure find an audience for it in either Fitzroy or Brunswick. And
I think that's the thing. So it's like one of the questions I've been asked before as a live music photographer. People go, "Oh, do you enjoy all the performances you go for?" And I tell them, I said, "Well, I think that's the wrong question to ask me, because my job isn't really to enjoy it. That's a fan's job. My job is to capture the performance.
Yeah.
So I really have to understand what the artist is trying to do. And I've got to pick my moment. That's really my two big things here. As a fan, like...
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes I think I've moved away from saying shit. Because I think a bad performance is very objective of what makes a bad performance to me. I've moved away from saying shit or bad to, no, I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I've moved.
On
I'm like,
now.
it's not. It's like this was not a performance tailored to me.
Yeah, it's comedy. It's like, that's offensive. No, nothing is offensive. You found it offensive.
Some things are offensive.
Oh, some things are.
Yeah,
it's like
caveat.
Subjectivity does reign in, but there's definitely hard lines.
Yeah, there are some hard lines,
like
and I think sometimes people will go for a game and they say, "Oh, I didn't like it." It's like, okay, cool.
That's
you didn't
fine.
like it.
What are you gonna do?
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with not liking it. Yeah. I actually prefer it when people say, didn't like it. I was like, great, because now I know not to invite you for the next gig. Because I don't want to cultivate fans who don't like the work. I want to cultivate a group of fans who do like the work, who are like excited to come and see anyone perform, whether it's Dogwatch or whether it's Aardvark or whether it's Play Lunch or whether it's Dylan Cosgriffs and the Omens, now known as the Omens.
Well, the Omens is the backing band, should clarify. So Dylan Cosgriff, like, the band is all session players, and they're absolutely magnificent.
Well, they're session players, they better be.
They are good. But yeah, so it's like Dylan Cosgriff, and then the backing band is the Omens. My bass player is Jet Bastos. He plays in a band, Nylon Phoenix. He's also from Sunbury, where all Achy Peace and Self-Titled are. He was the first act for Self-Titled Festival. He was the first one on. And then he played a Catfish and we got to talking. He mixed and mastered my new single.
Which is coming out?
February 13th.
There you go.
Yes, indeed.
The day after Dream Theater.
Dream Theater's far out. I've got to compete.
No, Dream Theater is only just coming to the show.
Oh, they're coming
so
to
the
us.
album's already out. You're fine.
Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. Like, you're not competing with like a new Dream Theater release. Yeah, I would know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a fan.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, new single's called Parasomnias. It's a massive turn away from my regular screamy grunge metal sound.
You might be competing with Dream Theater. That was the name of their last album.
Oh,
Parasomnia.
Actual?
Yeah.
Parasomnia.
Parasomnia.
Well, mine's plural. Parasomnias.
Fantastic. Just remember to add that S at the end.
Yes. It's all done. It's all submitted. It's all ready to go. I can't back out now.
No, it's great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun. But we had self-titled fest, and all the artists got paid, which was cool.
This is the coming back to the line of talk, which is free gig, and the artists get paid.
Yeah.
So how did you do it?
Well, Penny Black made it really easy for us. They were great. Massive shout out to Penny Black because they just made the whole thing amazing. They just said straight up, all right, that's a lot of bands. We'll just pay you $800. We'll just pay you. I'm like, really? Well, yeah, flat rate guarantee. Okay.
And that
great.
was $800 per band or all up?
All up. So
no, every
band got
100.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. But yeah, every band got 100. And so, you have a band with 5 people, everyone gets $20. It's not much. However, afterwards, they did say to us, the bartender bailed me up and he said, if we had known how many heads were going to come through the door, we would have done a different arrangement to get you paid more because they killed on the bar. Like they made heaps at the bar.
Yeah.
And so UniverseFest is a free entry event and the artists are all getting paid, but we've done it slightly differently. So instead of having a flat rate guarantee, we've managed to nail down sponsorship from Mountain Culture Brewing, Sailor Jerry Distillery, and Monkey Shoulder. And Sailor Jerry were huge at Stay Gold. I used to bartend at Stay Gold.
Great venue.
DAL.
We will get there.
We will get there. Sailor Jerry were always fantastic for Stay Gold because they just know live music, and all the representatives of Sailor Jerry, love live music and they respect live music. And so they're really keen to help out. So both the brewery and the distillery are sending us a bunch of kegs and beers and drinks. That's why we're also able to do drink specials on the night. So, UniverseFest, a festival full of bands from all the universities, clearly catered towards university students and young adults. It's free entry. Okay, pretty good. I'm a uni student. I don't have money. Free entry, good. You're telling me there's drink specials as well? I'm a university student, definitely an alcoholic. Drink specials, all right, but what if I don't like beer? Well, you can get an $8 rum mixer of anything you like. All right, cool, but I'm a university student and I like free shit. Is there going to be any merch giveaways? Yeah, there's going to be some merch giveaways. Sailor Jerry are also sending us a bunch of plastic cups and stuff, metal cups and shirts and bandanas, and we're just going to be giving them away in between acts. And because of the sponsorship, it's a guarantee that the bar staff will get paid, so we can negotiate a price to pay the artists. Sponsorship was the main thing that pushed it, and it wasn't hard to nail down. Mainly because Mountain Culture, everyone from there is bloody awesome. Sailor Jerry the same, just legends all around. That's how we're putting on a free show and making sure all the artists get paid.
And I think that's the word you said was negotiation, right? Was that now that you've been through self-titled fests and it's like, okay, we got the flat rate from Penny Black, and shout out to Penny Black. It's a great venue. Food's good. Bar staff are great. The vibes are always good. Up and down Sydney Road, easy to get to. Go to Penny Black. I implore you, please. Please. I have walked home from Penny Black when I used to live in Brunswick. It's great. Not the walking home part. Walking home part was, a little bit tiring. That's not the best part. The Penny Black part is the best part.
Yeah.
I saw Quiet Neighbors, Such a Days, and Earth Cadet play there.
Earth Cadet. Oh, jeez.
We're playing with them in the next gig.
Sam Edmonds.
Sam, both the Sams.
Yeah, no, legit. They recently played at Catfish, and I was working behind the bar on the night, and oh my gosh, I I've seen a lot of bands there. I'll take like a video of like every band, and I have a story highlight on my Instagram called Every Band Ever. And it's just all of these bands, and I tallied it up because the maximum of stories you can put in the highlight is 100. Yeah. I've been working there since December last year, so I've been there just over a year. There were, by the time I was scrolling down, looking at the dates that I'd recorded all the videos, I think I got to like May before it said no more. So that was only every band I filmed. There were other bands that have played that I didn't film. So it's a shit ton of bands that I've seen there, and Earth Cadet were easily like top 3. That was just a massive putting in perspective of how great Earth Cadet were. But yeah, no, they just murdered it. They were so good.
They're so good. Yeah, they're great.
Just
like,
tight. So why are they good? Well, the music's tight as hell. It's clearly very, very well developed. They know their sound. They know their audience. They know their genre. And it's an exciting ass stage show. They're jumping around. They're doing tiny moshes on stage. The costumes are really, really cool. There's passion in it. They believe everything that they're saying. And I only bring all of this up because like the stage is my home. Stage is where I live. And I like to go nuts on stage. Like Achy Peace.
I've heard the stories of you playing the drums and then not playing the drums because you're pulling your best Eddie Vedder's microphone got stuck on a crane. And you are climbing on the roof.
Yeah. Luckily, nothing's gone wrong so far. I've never fallen, but I've climbed on top of.
That's because you're
trucks.
here.
Yeah, that's that evidence by presence. The presence. What have I done? I've climbed on the top of a truck that we were playing in. Obviously scaffolding, all that. Oh, Penny Black. This is actually at Self-Titled Fest. Do you know the pillars outside Penny Black? I opened up the window during our set at Self-Titled Fest and climbed up there because they had a wireless mic. And weirdly, not the only time that I've shouted at people on the footpath during a gig, because I was also at Pause Bar and I climbed out the window there. I keep climbing out windows, man. I got a problem.
We should say we're not endorsing people to go out. This is not a go out and climb things podcast.
No, it's not.
This is just that Dylan likes to climb things.
Dylan loves to climb things.
Yes, this Dylan specifically, not all Dylans, just this one.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's great. I think when someone comes and says to me, we put a festival on and it was full and it was packed and all the bands got paid. I'm like, number to me makes it's irrelevant. The fact that it can be done is room for, again, negotiation to then go up. So then you do UniverseFest, and then that goes up. And it just shows that, a lot of people are like, oh, it's dire, as you said, amidst all this doom and gloom and stuff. And it's like, well, there are people out there willing to support. It's about seeking these people out. I mean, they themselves, awareness was one of the things on the report, right? Well, it's hard to be aware when there's so much happening. It's like I had Liam Wright on a couple of episodes ago. He plays in Fly. And we talked about how one of the toughest things to do is to get people to come to your show because you're always competing with someone else and you're doing it in a city that is like there's never a night that doesn't have something on. Yeah. You could go to a gig 365 days a year in the city and you can get something new every night. Yeah. And that is saying something. To have that kind of spread in front of you, I mean, it creates a bit of analysis paralysis, and then some people get stuck in the like, oh, I only go out 4 times a year to watch this one band. Cool, at least you're going out 4 times a year to watch this band. Yeah. But I tell people, it's like none of this is possible if you don't actually just come out. Pay, whether it's a free gig or not a free gig. You need to walk through that door and watch the band. Yeah. Because then the bar staff see that, this is actually something worth it. Yeah. The band see this is something worth it. Other people see, oh, well, if I'm here and these people are here, then this must mean something. Yeah. And it just then creates this snowball effect. And I tell people, it's like, it's too easy to just wait for the Deftones tour and then you sit at your computer and then you give them $200 and X amount of dollars for your ticket. And I'm like, I'm not saying don't go for the Deftones tour by all means. I mean, Stephen Carpenter's not going to be there.
I don't know what the deal is with that. That's his thing.
I mean, he's got a whole backstory with COVID and stuff, and why he doesn't fly anymore. And did that, I respect.
It's fine.
I respect the reason why he's chosen not to do that. But it's still going to be the Deftones.
Yeah.
Rush is going to come here with Anika drumming, and it's still going to be Rush.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, yes, you should go and watch Rush by all means, but don't.
Where are Rush playing?
Well, I mean, Rush, I'm hoping will eventually come here.
I was gonna say, I think
they're doing like I think an American and a European tour.
Yeah.
But I think this all kind of leads to the point of there are shows. You can go and see shows for not a lot of money, and some will be free, some will be $5, some will be $10.
Yeah, it's a really old kind of debate. Like, people go to stadium shows, but they won't come to my little gig. All right, let's pull it apart. With a stadium show, it's a known person. They know all the songs, and it's it's an atmosphere. It's a vibe. It's pretty cool. You go with friends. It's social. You have a little bar show. It's a lot cheaper, and you certainly get a freaking vibe. It's tight. It's packed. It's sweaty. There's beer and shit. But, you can acknowledge why people wouldn't want to go out to a little bar
100%.
show. They don't know the band. They're like, it's my friend's band, and my friend's an asshole, so I don't know if I want to go to the band. How am I going to get home? It's just, there's not as much motivation.
Well, I mean, how are you going to get home is
fine.
the exact same question you got to ask yourself when
Yes,
you go to,
you have to ask all these same questions
If someone
for
asks me,
stadium
how am I going to get home? It's like, how would you get home from the MCG?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take public transport. Okay,
take
so
public transport,
it's the same. It's the same thing.
Dress up, have
it's-
fun.
In fact, it's actually going to be less crowded getting home from the bar gig than it is from the MCG. You probably won't miss as many trains waiting for people to just clear out.
Yeah. It's just scary. But I get annoyed with artists who constantly complain about, why do you go to a stadium show? It's like, okay, it doesn't matter why, just deal with the problem. Just deal with it, okay? How are you going to get someone out to your gig as opposed to just complaining? Let's just fix what you're upset about, which is people not coming to your gigs. I've found that there are some techniques that do kind of force people out. So number one is just texting people.
Oh, yeah.
Because, here it is. This is getting people to your gigs 101. This is my favoriteest technique ever. First of all, you want to make it as accessible as possible. So you send your friend the link and you say, hey, I just love to come to the bar, give all the details, make it as easy for them as you can so they don't have to ask, when is it? No, it's right here. And then you say, also, if you get the pre-sales, it's actually $5 cheaper. So you bait them in like that. You're like, and buy it now. And if they buy the pre-sales, then they're definitely going to come. Then as you were saying, it's a financial investment. They're invested now. They've spent the money. They're going to come to your goddamn gig. But that's the main technique that I hope every local musician follows. Text your friend and just bait them in. It's cheaper.
Anyone who has ever received a message from me will be like, we've experienced how to come to a gig 101 from Shagan because that's all he fucking does. I invited a couple of colleagues from work to come in, and one of my colleagues, Luke, he's ex-colleague, he's moved to a different company right now, but every morning we would basically get in. When I walk in or when he walks in, when we see each other, we would just default into like our best or worst Bob Geldof impersonation, and we'd be like, "Get on the phones, lad. Get on the phones."
Oh yeah.
We just treat it like
we
live.
know you've got the money.
Yeah,
I can't do
exactly.
Bob.
It's like you've got the money. You put it to the right cause. Get on the phones. Yeah. Tell your friends. Tell your mum. Tell your dad. Tell your dad's dad's friend.
You got to worry about negative, non-autonomous motivation, which is you're using the stick, not the carrot. You do kind of have to use the carrot if you want a positive vibe from your audiences, which is to say, don't guilt trip them into coming.
No.
I mean, I respect Bob's passion in regards to Live Aid when he did that interview, because it is a dire cause that he's raising money for. So in this case, yes, please be extreme. Please kind of guilt them in. But coming to my Thursday night gig at Nighthawks or whatever, I'm not gonna show up at your door with a microphone, asshole. You have money.
Yeah. No, it is more.
How you pay rent in house. Yeah.
But it is about the point of awareness, right? And I think it is not enough.
Spreads the word.
Correct. It's not enough to just post a link. You should tell your friends, hey, do you want to come? Hey, we'd like you to come. We'd love you to come. And when people say, I'll check and let you know, I go, thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Because it means a lot, not just to obviously you, the artist, but the whole thing just makes it worth it for all the bands. You know, especially, you never know if you're going to find. I always tell people, I was like, you don't know what you're missing. And I'm telling
It
you,
is a vibe.
I'm telling you, you're going to find some really, really good bands that you're going to start really enjoying.
You're going to have an experience, even if you don't, pick up new music. I'm the worst musician in the sense that I just hate discovering new music. I like the songs that I like, and if I stumble upon something great, but I never go out and listen to
See,
it.
like I'm almost like on the opposite end of that spectrum where it's like every time I open Apple Music, I don't use Spotify anymore, I use Apple Music. It's like I'm always on the new tab. I always go to the new tab.
Parasomnia is not coming out on Spotify. None of my music is on Spotify. I took it off at the end of this year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bandcamp.
It's literally cheaper than Spotify. You can just hit the link and listen. Like, no sign up, no credit card, no nothing. You can.
But you can also get the merch.
And you can get the merch. And I get about 83% of royalties minimum. I don't remember the exact figure of Spotify, but it's something like 0.03. Like, it's crazy.
And then it's a slider depending on where you sit on that scale. And
Yeah.
You know? So
No, Bandcamp, absolutely goated. I'm so excited to see it take off. And King Gears, obviously the King Gears thing.
Gizzard, yes.
They're a private company, so they don't have stocks, because I did look up, like, where are their stocks at. And they don't have any, but, their usage and downloads and things like that just
right up.
Spiked.
And when King Gizzard was like, "Oh, we're taking all our music off and going to Bandcamp," I was like, "Of course." King Gizzard could do anything they want, and it just hits.
Yeah,
freaking, like Midas touch on everything they do.
Yeah.
My view of how best to support the artists in front of you. I'm just randomly
nice
pointing,
ball.
right?
Yeah.
So I like just boil it down to like the simplest action I can take. Right? What is the simplest action I can take? Simplest action I can take is buying a ticket. And then the next simplest action is going for the gig.
Yeah.
The next simplest action is potentially getting some merch. You don't have to buy the merch. You've already done the most important thing, which is buying the ticket and then coming to the show.
Yeah.
The other thing that you can do if you don't get the merch is obviously listening to the music. If you like it, why wouldn't you listen to it, right? A lot of the artists that you listen to actually are on streaming platforms, whether it's Bandcamp or any other major streaming platform, the artists are there, right? And so I like to almost kind of block out the whole of what are all the barriers to support? What's actually the path?
Yeah.
What can I do?
As opposed to what is going to make this difficult?
Yeah, and it's like if you focus on what is the difficulty part, then everything becomes difficult. Oh, getting there is difficult. Oh, this is difficult. Oh, that is difficult.
It's just a good mindset to have.
And I'm just like, no, it's not that difficult. Well, I'll tell you what is difficult. Difficult is loading all your shit into a car and driving there and unloading it and setting it up and finding parking, running out in the middle of a show, between sets, to move your car because the parking's expired, so you don't get the fine because the fine's more expensive than what you get paid running back. And all that's difficult.
Yeah.
Right? If you're drinking, you're probably not driving. You're probably taking either an Uber or you're taking public transport, or maybe a friend is driving.
Probably having a good time as well.
Probably having a good time, right? You're not going to be, well, depending on the kind of night you have, you're probably not going to be as wrecked as the performers because performing takes a lot out of you. But I don't like to think like that. I just like to go, what can I do? Can I go? Okay. Do I want to go? Yes. If I don't want to go, no, you can't go for every gig. Even I can't go for every gig, and I go to a lot of fucking gigs.
Yeah.
Right. I did like a little gig recap on my Instagram.
I saw it.
Yeah. And people like, how? And I was like, top tip is to not have a life, which I don't have.
Well, a different life.
Yeah.
Different view on sociology and hanging out with people.
But for me, it's like I enjoy it. Like I like going to watch these shows because I could sit at home and listen to Too Old to Cry by Aardvark on repeat 1,000,000 times, and I probably will. I could listen to Rapture by Achy Peace 1,000,000 times, but I think it takes away from the experience of what Ed, Sorka, Danny, Dylan from Aardvark, and what, you know, Jordy, Darby, and Harris give from AKPs. I mean, it's just, and I'm not singling out anyone here. It's just two bands that I have watched multiple times before, and there's other performers like Jasmine Adria, Hassel, Quiet Neighbors, Willie Jace, Momoko Rose, all these, you know, so many people that I could probably just name. And like, I would not want to deprive myself of that experience.
Yeah.
I don't really drink when I go to a gig because for me, it's like, I'm here to listen to the music. I didn't drive today. I might have a drink. Might have one, right? But it's the whole, like, if I'm not here, then if I'm not here and then you times that attitude by a factor of 1,000 times over and then 1,000 times over that, then you really have a death of live music.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is the trend. I actually think the trend is that people are looking to come for these experiences more, and your big music fests, like, which is a good slow segue into the main topic that I was like,
interested,
you know?
in.
Well, you mentioned it in the text when you messaged me, and I was like, fuck, yes.
Yeah, let's rock.
And I think it's like, there is a demand for it.
Yeah,
there
and
is
we're seeing that.
There's a
We're seeing it
huge
with
demand. And
the
yes,
Amyl and the Sniffers,
Kneecap,
crashing. Yeah,
you know,
it's a huge demand for it. People are just really interested in it when it's cheap.
Well, fair enough. If everything's expensive all at once, then you have to make sacrifices. You can't go for every gig. You can't go for everything under the sun and all that, right? You have to make some choices, right? And I don't begrudge anyone that. But what I probably do say to people is, I was like, consider supporting just a few extra artists a year. Just a few. And maybe pick the gigs strategically. If you like your metal gigs, go for your metal gigs. And then stream those, because there is a demand. And in saying that demand, you've seen festivals like Good Things kick off. You know, I mean,
Knotfest.
And Knotfest. I mean, they were both really, really good. Cost is high.
Cost is high. But so for Knotfest's first Australian iteration, there are approximately 45,000 people that showed up. Second one, around 30,000, just due to the absence of Slipknot. That's totally fair. And then I actually don't know how many showed up to
this last year's one.
Last one, but it was, you know, it was huge. This and Good Things, like, kind of the ones spearheading the return of consistent larger scale music festivals. Big Day Out, in a sense, Good Things, in a sense, was kind of a response to Big Day Out, which, while it was more extensive than Good Things, had its own economic complexities. That's the actual official reason.
A friend of mine actually just sent me a video of John So, the former mayor of Melbourne, addressing the Big Day Out crowd. And I think that was the year where it was like about to get cancelled because they couldn't have it at Flemington, so they had to move it to another venue. And then that was like part of his decision to, as when he was Lord Mayor or something, to make sure Melbourne didn't miss out on Big Day Out. And I was like, that man was aura farming when he addressed the crowd.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. But you know who else knows what they were doing? The wonderful people at DAL, who you are about to tell me and everyone else. All the things you know about the wonderful people at Destroy All Lines.
Please don't kill me, Destroy All Lines.
No. I'm sure it's all good.
It
will be all good. Of course.
So yeah, I used to work at Stay Gold in Brunswick, and I was there for about a year, and it's a massive music bar. And I would always get confused as to why we had so many DAL-based sideshows there. So when we did have Good Things, we had I saw While She Sleeps do their sideshow there. Imminence did their sideshow there for Good Things last year. Both incredible shows, and on top of this, just stacks and stacks of other shows. They're all, you know, you've got DAL's main event, Knotfest as well. The after parties for Knotfest is always held at Stay Gold. And I was like, why are these DAL events happening here? And it's because their offices are upstairs.
There you go.
That's it. That's as simple as it gets. And they still, what am I trying to say? I don't know. They contribute majorly to the newer bands that are coming up, which is just the best. So for good things that, obviously about the band competition.
Yes.
That was the only criticism that was met with was the fact that, it's based on votes per drink. And so it does turn into some kind of popularity contest. But, they still had Jaden from Destroyer Lines, judging the event and helping out younger artists. He helped me out a lot, kind of getting me onto, artist developers and things like that. But yeah, that was like the only criticism for the band comp. The fact that it felt like a bit of a popularity contest. But regardless, it got local bands onto the big stage.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
And it was great to look through a lot of those artists and be like, oh, I've seen these people. I've seen these people play, and I think this is great, And then you cast your votes as you need, and no one will ever know who I casted my votes for. And
I should also mention, I did compete in the band comp and didn't get past like the first round. So that,
wow, how
dare
you?
That's my sourness.
Get out.
No. It's an awesome competition. I just want, if there's someone out there like, yeah, you probably only said that because you didn't make it. No, there were even,
Yeah, we only have winners on this podcast. Get out.
Yeah. But no, regardless of that, it's like such a good event to run.
And as I was saying to you, when we were catching up outside and walking in, like DAL have suddenly they've just had like their, it seems in the last 2 or 3 years, they've had their, call it your come to Jesus moment / overnight success based on all this hard work that's been done in the past, right? You do all this hard work for X amount of years and then suddenly you're an overnight success. Yeah. And I remember, I would see their name, Destroy All Lines, and I'd see it and then I started seeing it a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And suddenly I was like, these guys are starting to become a little bit ubiquitous. Yeah. And I'm getting more and more and more interested in knowing why and how. Because suddenly it's baby metal, it's Bloodywood, it's Dream Theater. And I was just like, okay. Yeah. Now I need to know. And the best part about it was, obviously, I'm buying Dream Theater ticket. I was actually in Japan while it was announced. Yeah. And then I was in Japan when I bought the tickets. So I was like, this is, I was like in another whole other country buying tickets for the show here. And I was and I was like, Destroy Our Lines again. And then a couple of months later, obviously, you were like, oh, I got to come on the show and I can talk about Destroy Our Lines. I was like, bruh, God has answered my prayers.
Well, to a large extent, it was good things. They put on good things in 2018, expected some kind of success. They did not expect the success that they actually got. The first iteration before, they'd even run the event one single time, the venue was upgraded from Melbourne Showgrounds to Flemington Racecourse, and according to Live Music Australia's report on the national live event revenue, contributed to a $2 million increase in revenue compared to the previous year. That is overall revenue made by all festivals, but it definitely contributed to a massive increase in funds. There was an increase of the event attendance of around 120,000, growing from for all three shows, 153,000 in 2017. Sorry, not 2018, 2017. It's 153,000 across all three shows and 97,000 the following year. So it was, just people got on top of it. And it's likely that the success of the event was kind of in response to Big Day Out kind of slowing down because...
Soundwave had also gone by then.
Soundwaves have gone by then. Well, Soundwave, Big Day Out, Soundwave, it's just that same coin. But after Big Day Out finished, there was not another large-scale music festival that happened until Good Things. So DAL were really clever by just noticing the gap in the market. And, it's always talked about, oh, when's the next festival? When's the next, thing? They just said, all right, we'll do it. And to fill the lineup, they booked a lot of newer bands. So Red Hook got a lot of breakage from from Good Things because they were there for a few of the first ones. Just trying to find which other ones were on there. Skimming through my own essay. They the date in 2023 we had like the biggest Good Things we'd had that far. Like it just kept increasing. And I think that's around that time, DAL solidified themselves as a ubiquitous force in the industry, competing against Live Nation. And it's good because with great power comes great responsibility. And they're using that power for good, for doing things like Battle of the Bands at Stay Gold, letting a lot of younger local bands get on the stage at Stay Gold. On Tuesday nights, they ran jam nights that were run by Stacey Palmer. Stacey Palmer is just the finest individual, helping so many young local bands. He started off running a jam night at Cherry Bar. That's when I met him. And it was really just an open mic that you had to text ahead to. But he would find, all these young local bands, just shoot him a text, say, hey, you want to come play? And they'd come and play. It was low pressure.
I believe he's got a brother, doesn't he?
Stacey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Louis.
Louis Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've met Louis quite a few times because I photographed him with his band.
Yeah, Murray Bay Country Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. They played at Caddy a few months ago, which is really cool.
They'll be playing in a few weeks' time.
Hell yes. With Cigarillos?
Believe so,
Cigarillos,
yes.
yeah.
On the 24th
Maybe.
of January, that is.
Yeah. But Stacey's work is just immeasurably invaluable, or whatever very valuable means. It went from Cherry and then left Cherry due to lack of payment to him. Moved to Persa, is it Perseverance Bar for a bit. SB as well, has been in the SB basement for the longest now. Stay Gold, Dan hosted it there, AC Dan, basically his partner in crime. And now is at Pause Bar in Balaclava. So Tuesday nights at SB, Pause Bar are Wednesdays. And these open mics are crucial for keeping the musical kind of economy flowing and just getting new bands up because it's free to perform, it's free to go there, it's low pressure. And Stacey is just the most charismatic guy when he gets on stage and is known for saying the following phrases, not bad for a Wednesday. And the other great one is the hottest band in the world right now. I've been introduced as the hottest act in the world right now about 20 times, and he does it with such conviction and commitment that you believe it. And it just...
But you need guys like that.
Oh yeah,
you need guys
bloody
like that.
do.
Because
massive shout out to Stacey, the man himself.
Yeah, because you know that it's not necessarily whether you are the hottest band, but it's just like cutting that discomfort that someone who doesn't know anything about this band might have. And someone who can just cut that out and just give, it's like, hey, you are new to this scene and I'm going to do something for you, which is I'm just going to take out X amount of discomfort that the audience feels listening to you. And I'm going to take X amount of discomfort out of you performing for them.
Yep.
And you're just going to go for it and it is what it is.
Breaks the ice.
And
then the band actually performs like they are the hottest band in the world. They get that confidence.
Yeah. It's like, well, this guy's just called us the hottest band in the world. I guess we better play that chord a little bit harder, And so I think you need people. You 100% need people like this, and it's so, as you say, the open mic parts are crucial. The free gigs are crucial. The paid gigs it's all part of the musical economy. It is an economy, right?
And podcasts like this and shows like this are also contributing to that, giving artists platforms. There's Zach Main from Self Titled doing God's work with the show, getting heaps of younger local bands on. I would contend that there's a solid basis for the future of live music being constructed right now with more and more platforms opening up, open mics, stations, podcasts, etc.
Yeah, for me, I'm always like, one of the reasons why I'm such a, this is a non-music related thing, right? I'm a big infrastructure guy. I'm always about how can you make people move faster, better, more efficiently, right? Whether that's by sea or by air or by road or by mass rapid transport like trains or high-speed rail. I'm always like, what does this mean for the wider portion of society, right? And one of the things I tell people is the V line may not be the fastest train in the world,
Mm.
but it will get you to Bendigo. It will get you to Ballarat. It
Yeah.
will get you to Shepparton.
Yeah.
And these are not small towns.
No,
These are pretty
rural
decent.
cities.
These are they may be rural.
Yeah.
They may be they may be regional. Is more of the word I would go for.
Yeah.
But they're not small. There's a hefty amount of people who live there.
Mm.
Thriving economy. And I would not be surprised if you would get out there and find some really, really cool acts. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to Bendigo. I'm not saying you must go to Bendigo.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that
If
the
you
fa-
were to go to Bendigo, the chance is that you would find a good artist.
and you have a way to get there and back
Yeah.
that isn't really going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Mm.
It probably would cost you less in finding a place for the night.
Yeah.
If you had to get a place for the night, then the fuel costs up and down,
Mm.
you know? So for me, it's more of like when people say, oh, why do you want to have more infrastructure? Because location's one of
gigs.
the big fucking things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's
no,
like
exactly.
if something's far away but very easy to get to,
Yeah.
It-
It's not far away.
it's not far away. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, everyone goes to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for footy or for a show or for whatever, right?
Yeah.
For cricket, anything. Everyone goes to Marvel. Why? It's right next to two major train stations.
Yeah.
Right? Richmond and Southern Cross.
Yeah.
So I'm like, or Jollymont, right? So I'm like, how is this difficult to get to? Almost every fucking train line goes to these places.
Yeah.
Right? If not to Jollymont and Richmond, it will go to Flinders Street, and then you would just bang one or two stations over.
Yeah.
So suddenly the MCG isn't that far away.
Yeah.
Right? Suddenly Marvel isn't that far away.
Mhm.
If you're coming regional and you're going to a Marvel show, bang, one in, one out.
Yeah.
Right? You arrive at Southern Cross, walk
Yeah.
over, watch your thing, get back on the train, off you go home.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a big thing
Yeah.
of being able to just get people there.
Yeah.
And then again, it's all the knock-on effects, right? It's all the knock-on effects of who's getting paid, where it creates that value, that extra 2 million.
Yeah.
And it also tells performers and organizers, people like DAL, who can go, we could probably put a big show on in Bendigo, and we could probably do it for half the cost or less cost or X amount less because it doesn't have the premiums of being in a city. And then that drags X amount of people there, So governments do it all the time by saying, we want the Foo Fighters to come and play in Geelong at Cardinia Park or GMHBA Stadium, whichever one you want to go for. It's just KP for me. But it was a great night. It rained.
Yeah.
They were playing. I got wet.
Nice.
I had to throw my shoes away because they were just beyond saving.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah.
And it was right next to the train station.
Yeah.
And they ran extra trains. So you came in. It wasn't a very long trip for a lot of people. And I mean, the trains were probably fucked at the end of the night because everyone was drenched.
Yeah.
But it probably succeeded in doing what it wanted to do, which was it took a lot of people out of the city into a regional town, boosted whatever kind of, because people would have come in early, gone to a pub, had some food, blah, 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 gone to the show, and then gone home.
So you're quite happy with how V-Line's reliability gets people from A to B, even if it's not high-speed rail.
The reliability of the train network is one thing, but the fact that it exists is, for me, like we are at least getting people there.
Yeah.
But if we had to build a whole brand new V-Line now, you're driving. And that's a huge barrier to getting somewhere because you're like, where am I going to park and all this? And just getting on the train and getting somewhere is like, and that's why Fitzroy and Brunswick Street can do what they do, because it's like, it doesn't matter which of the two big streets you're on, you get out and there's a tram there, and each of them have Brunswick Street, Sydney Road only has
Sydney
the
Road
one,
is the 19. Yeah.
But Brunswick Street in Fitzroy has two?
The 11 and the Brunswick Street's just got 11.
And then Smith Street's got another one.
Smith Street's got the 86.
Yeah.
That also comes along Gertrude Street.
Correct.
Yeah, no, the public transport around there is great, and it slightly negates the need for many more CBD venues, because having a venue in a CBD is great because it means it's easily accessible. People can come straight in on the train and just get to the CBD. It's a central hub, but we don't have many. So Fitzroy and Brunswick are great places for live music because they're also really easily accessible. You jump on the 86. The first venue you will come across is the Catfish. Then you go past Workers Club. You can get off there and jump on the 11 and just go straight down Brunswick Street. The accessibility is definitely a major factor as to why Fitzroy and Brunswick are such hot spots.
And also it's like the change in how music is being performed, not just in venues that are traditionally live music, but also record stores.
Oh yeah,
like that trend. And
Ringo Bar.
Oh yeah, and it's like, I tell people, I was like, if you're a band, just get on that trend, even if it only lasts for a year. Yeah, just get on the trend because people want to be a part of that. Yeah, they want to come and experience a gig in a record store, and
it's cool.
It's cool. It's just like, oh, you wouldn't believe it. We just went to this record store and they played this band. It was awesome. Yeah. Oh, who are they? Oh, I have to go and find out. And suddenly that whole experience creates an investment in a new band. Yeah. And so things like Self-Titled Fest, things like UniverseFest, it's important because it creates these experiences in people's minds. Yeah. And then suddenly everyone's like, what was that band? Yeah. The guy, it's like, what were they? It's like, the drummer just like, he opened the window and he took the mic and he jumped down and timed something. Wow, what were they called? And then it just becomes this thing, And so I think what you're doing is vital.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's vital that someone would take that risk. Yeah. And clearly succeeded.
Yeah. Well, UniverseFest is going to be absolutely banging. Drink specials, merch giveaways. We got chamomile from...
Give us details, dates, places.
February 28th. Fantastic. Get on down to UniverseFest. Free entry mofos.
Where?
We are at the Catfish in Fitzroy. Easiest to get to from the CBD. February 28th, get to the Catfish. Free entry event. Doors at 4 p.m. We got Alice Isabella. We got the Hollows. We got Malice. We got chamomile. We got this random asshole who wears cow pants, Dylan Cosgriff, playing second up on the night. We got Velour. It's a studded lineup, and it's the best bands that are produced out of all of Australia, Melbourne's music universities. So that's why it's called UniverseFest, because it's universities. But yeah, we got acts from VCA, we got acts from Australian Institute of Music, JMC, Collarts, Vic Uni Melb. Get on down to UniverseFest.
Oh, that's right. I have completely forgotten that you're actually filming. And I'm just like, oh, that's right. Why is he pointing? Oh, that's right.
Feb 28th, UniverseFest. Get on down to it. Free entry. It's going to be the greatest festival you ever saw with your own two eyeballs.
And it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, it's a platform to the next, so it's like.
Well, the next one is just another UniverseFest. We just want to do it again.
Yeah. But you have to do the first one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we got sponsorship for this one, and that's amazing. That's fantastic. And I want to say a massive thank you to Mountain Culture Sailor Jerry for jumping on that one. But I was informed, however, by the functions manager at Catfish that if this first one goes well, we don't need sponsorship for the next one, because we will have proved that we pulled enough people to pay the bar staff and therefore don't need any sponsorship. The sponsorship is, in a sense, just a safety mattress. But if it goes well, which I'm very confident it will, and we run it again, I think I'll see if we can do sponsorship again anyway. Like, even though we don't need it and it is a bit of a hassle.
You might get different sponsors.
Maybe different sponsors.
And that's a wider... that's a wider reach as well. Yeah, right?
Because from the brewery and the distiller's point of view, they're getting out of it new audiences themselves. So the next generation of young beer drinkers, the next generation of Sailor Jerry drinkers, and university students obviously are very reliable consumers and have a lot of brand loyalty. And so when they come to this festival and they get Mountain Culture, they're going to be like, hell yeah, when's the next one? I want Mountain Culture to be there. So it'd be easier to have Mountain Culture on there, but what you said, if we get different sponsorship, then they have, this is another brewery that I really like. And then you just flow from there. It's like, well, I like Mountain Culture, and then I like Hop Nation, and now I like Co-Conspirators and Brad Brewery, and you just roll it like that. So
this has now become the Brewcast. We've gone from Plugcast to Brewcast.
No, I like my craft beer.
But there's a lot, and I think that's the thing that, this whole podcast really started as me. I take photos of bands, and then I was like, it'd be nice to get to know what goes on behind all of this.
Connectivity.
You know, and so this really started as just like a way to supplement the photography. And that's where the focus is.
Yeah.
But what I've enjoyed out of this is learning how a lot of bands are very young and they've been able to really spearhead their growth in a very short amount of time. There are people like yourself who are doing like phenomenal things. I think to put on a festival in an established venue, to make it accessible to people. You're not the only person who's doing that as well. I know Ed from Aardvark works very hard to make sure gigs are accessible.
Yep. No, I like Ed's gigs.
You know, and they just played Shot Kickers on New Year's Eve. I was not able to make it, but I saw the photos and I saw some video, and of course, it was great.
Yep.
And so I think a lot of people behind the scene are working really hard to get people to come out and say, give us a chance, we'll play, you walk away and make a decision whether you want to come back. And what I wanted to touch on was, so my friends and I, we went for a gig at the Bergie Band Room on the 19th of December.
Sickest venue.
Right?
Love
Great
Bergie's,
venue.
like top
Great
favorite venues in Melbourne.
I've been to the Bergie Band Room a couple of times.
I've gotten told off for climbing on the frames above the stage.
I would be looking at you going, I'd be like, this guy.
I did fall once. I just remembered I did fall once, and it was our headline show at Bergie, and we pulled a great crowd, and the energy was absolutely insane. I'm climbing on everything, and I had my friend Seb in the crowd, and he kept feeding me shots, and he's giving me like double shots on stage, and because it was just the best night, and we pulled quite a few, full room. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And so I'm climbing up behind my drummer on the beam up there. And I'm up there and I'm leaning off it and I'm singing, I'm having the best time ever. And I was a little bit woozy. I generally don't drink before I go on stage, but this night was a bit different. And I was a little bit woozy and I'm trying to like maneuver myself down, and there's an amp in the way, and then there's the overhead mic stand. And I got down, but I did stumble and I did knock the hi-hat pretty solidly, and it was obvious, and I did knock the overhead mic and I had to grab it before it fell onto Nick. But yes, that was the only time I did fall and never fell again. Fell on black days only. But Bergie Band Room,
But Bergie, yeah, so, you know, it was the four of us, and we went to watch 4 bands, right? Lumens.
Yeah, no Lumens.
Bench Cup.
Don't know Bench Cup, okay.
Very good band.
Yeah.
Loon.
Oh, Loon, far out. Also a big DAL band. DAL's helped them out a shit ton, as far as I understand.
The headline, Future Static.
They're so intense. They're crazy.
And we, looking in the Bergie Band Room, and I said to them, I have been to the Bergie Band Room enough times when there's been not a lot of people, when there's been quite a lot of people, and when there's been a lot of people. And none of those experiences have I ever been in the Bergie Band Room where it was hot from the number of people in the Bergie Band Room.
Jeez, that would have been sick.
And it was hot. And that was like an indication for me of how many people were in the room, right? So I have no doubt that it was a sold-out crowd or near-ish, right? But it was piping hot. Like, we were sweating by the end of the night. Of course, the performers are sweating. But the point that I was trying to illustrate to my friends, and we all were on the same page, so we were basically all just like basically patting each other on the back when we were talking, was that all this chat about live music dying, we were just like,
it's not dying. We're in a larvae stage right now.
I was just like, and that's the thing. We were like, all this chat. It's like, we don't doubt that there are places who are probably doing it tough. No doubt about that. Absolutely zero doubt about that, right? But all this chat about like live music is dying, I was like, we just came from the Bergie Band Room on Sydney Road and to what was a packed fucking venue for people to watch 4 bands for $30. What the fuck are people talking about? People are just lazy. And that's all I was saying. I said people are just lazy. They're just lazy. They don't want to get off the car. They don't want to get off the couch or something.
Lazy or just don't know, and this is where awareness comes into
I can't blame you if you don't know.
Yeah.
I can't blame you if you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
If you do know and you still don't want to go out,
if you do,
it's just not their thing.
If it's not your thing, but
It's not your thing.
from that alone, that one like snapshot, which is a snapshot amongst many other snapshots at so many different gigs, right? When people say to me, live music's dying, I was like, specifically, what about it is dying? Is it dying because alcohol is very expensive? Because alcohol is expensive regardless of where you go, right? Whether you go to a fine dining restaurant or whether you go to a bar, alcohol is subject to the same excises and taxes. Yeah. Then there's the margins of what the venue pays its staff and all this kind of stuff. So there's that equation. So alcohol is expensive. Alcohol is expensive everywhere, right? Maybe alcohol should be a little bit expensive from a health and safety perspective, just a little bit.
Nah,
right?
Beers. I mean, Gen Z.
But at the same time, Gen Z, correct. And cost is a huge factor.
Yeah, that's why I'm making up for it.
Exactly. Nah. And I have zero problems with making it a little bit more accessible, a little bit cheaper in service of the venue, right? Because I think there's also a personal responsibility of, you kind of like, come on. Like we've all gone past that line, and that's when you learn where the line is, and then you don't cross that line anymore.
You take care of yourself.
Correct. And venues have an obligation to basically say, no chance, bro. No more drinks for you.
Yeah,
or
RSA.
Yes, or get the fuck out. Right? Go and be someone else's problem.
I've had to 86 a many a folk. And it's interesting because 86 is like bartender code for had too much. The venue I'm at is on the 86 tram line. So you say 86, now get on it and go home.
I like it. And so for me, it's like, I always tell people, it's like, be specific about what part is dying. Because there's no shortage of good music. Like, I can tell you that firsthand. I've been to a lot of fucking gigs. Like, not just metal ones, not just pop ones. I've covered pretty much a lot of the genres. I haven't done a lot of soul gigs or R&B gigs, and I want to do more of those this year, but I've done a lot of jazz gigs. I've done a lot of grunge gigs, metal gigs, rock gigs, indie gigs. So
there's
I'm like,
cool stuff.
I was like, there's a lot of good music coming out of the pores of the city. Yeah. Right? And so you have to ask yourself, why do you want to consume music primarily through headphones? That's a question to someone, right? Yeah. Why is it?
Why don't you want to come outside
why are you making music more isolating? Yeah. In the way you experience it, because all the things you see with your eyes, the move back to vinyl, the move back to physical ownership of things and all that. I was like, those were symptomatic of a time when you went to your friend's house, you sat around drinking, and they said, hey, check out this cool vinyl I got. And then they would put it on and you listen to the album start to finish. Do you flip it over? That was, emblematic of a very social period, and a very particular kind of social period. Yeah. And style and all of that. So there seems to be a cross, like, between how people are experiencing music on their own. Yeah. And what I can clearly see is people walking around with merch, people buying merch, people consuming it. And so I'm like,
the live music scene is alive and well and will be fine. You have, however, people that don't know about the live music or don't like the live music scene. You have two groups: people who don't know about it at all, and those who know about it and it's just not their thing. And so the only one that you can channel your energy towards is the ones that don't know, because the ones that have been out know that it's not their thing. You can't really change their minds. You can't get them out to a gig, unless they haven't gone to the right gig yet. So you're channeling your energy towards the group of people that just don't know. It's like, seriously, mate, just give it one chance. And there's rock and roll, and there's beer, and it's awesome, and there's a whole vibe. Even from an evolutionary standpoint, humans started figuring out that we survived better when we were in groups. And so because of that, we intricately have to belong and, be in a hive mind, which is where loneliness becomes such a complex psychological issue. But that's quite off topic. Point is, you're with people, generally happier.
Oh, I would add that there's a third group because I felt like I fit into that third group of people, which I was like, where the fuck do I go? I know it's there.
Well, yeah, that's
where the fuck do I go?
Group. Where do you go?
Well, more so of like, it's not that you don't know, you know it's there. But you're just like,
where do you go? Workers,
right?
You go Burger, you go to Caddy,
and I have to say that my sort of toe in the live music scene here, funny enough, the one that I remember, I'm sure there's ones before that, but the one I remember so vividly was actually watching Barbarian at Stagel.
Oh, snap. There you go.
And in 2018.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
And it was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I can remember this so vividly. I was at work and I was like working my ass off, getting stuff done and on a Saturday. And then a friend of mine texted me and says, come to this gig tonight. And I was like, okay. So obviously took my friend's word on it. But I remember the poster was, it's like Barbarian. It was like this dwarf that looked like it was straight out of World of Warcraft. And I was like, okay, what's going on over here? What's happening here? And my friend just said, just come, just give it a shot. And I was like, okay. I looked where Stagel was, and I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. It's near home.
It's easy to get
near
to.
home. Yeah, I can just walk home after that. Yeah. So, I went home, I got ready, and I came out, and I remember walking in, and there was a guy dressed as the pirate. There was a guy dressed in like a Viking, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And I looked at my friend, and I said, what kind of kink show have you brought me for? And he was like, dude, just wait. And the guys on Barbarian, they came on stage, and I'm just like, man, I was just like, fuck, what the hell have I been missing? And if they announce a show, I'm there. Like whenever they announce a show, I'm there. And I photographed them quite a few times. I've probably seen them the most of any local band, right? Because I've seen them for so long now. Yeah. I never missed their annual May show at the Workers Club.
Oh yeah.
They do a what is essentially a matinee show. Yep. And they have a term for it called the fatney. And then they've done the Burgie, they've done the Tote. Like I've welcomed, I think, New Year's in at the Tote watching Barbarian.
Nice. As you should. That's the right way to do it.
I've done it at Cherry Bar with them as well. So like great guys, just lovely guys. The music is great. It's fun. Yeah. They don't take them. The performance is serious in a very unserious way. Yeah. And they do it so well. Yeah. And I've said to friends, I've said, come and watch Barbarian. Yeah. Everyone is skeptical. Yeah. And when they finish it, when they finish watching that, they're like, that was a great show. Yeah. I was like, exactly. And think about all the different bands who are doing that. Yeah.
And on that note, I would just like to pay respects to some of my absolute favorite super creative performers and bands that are in Melbourne at this moment. And I want to pay respects to it, not just because the amount of effort they're putting into it, but just the sheer creativity that goes into it. It's a true reflection of Melbourne's vibrant music and art scene. Just utilizing resources, doing things, UniverseFest, I put that on because I knew that it could be done and no one else was doing it. And all these other bands are doing the same thing. It's like, we know this crazy creative stuff that is going to get press in Beat Magazine can be done, so let's just do it. So Dole Man Child, I don't know if you ever saw Dole or went to Dole Night at Tote.
Oh yeah, Dole Night I have.
Yeah, yes. Dole Man Child, the Dole is the main man behind that. He's just a creative weapon. They have a kind of an iconic photo of someone surfing, I think it is the Dole, is surfing on a surfboard on top of the crowd. Like, it's a real, I think it was Fugazi? Ugh, I don't know. Someone's gonna hurt me. Yeah,
Great band.
Someone's gonna hurt me for not naming the band correctly, but it's the punk band playing and the singer's up in the basketball hoop. Is like, singing the thing, and it's just a really iconic punk photo. So Dole Man Child, Projectile Dysfunction, what a band. Danger Rodriguez, absolute killer, fantastic, a leader of the band. Projectile, obviously, Pirates, Barbarian, of course, Pizza Death, if you haven't seen Pizza Death.
I haven't seen Pizza Death.
Goodness me. So they play out the back of Thin Slizzies just near the Tote.
Oh yeah, I love Thin Slizzies.
Yeah, and they just love pizza, and they sing about how great pizza is, and they have like a garlic bread, like a person dressed as garlic bread on stage in one of the songs, and they wrap them in tinfoil. It's just so ridiculous.
I must say, I did see a band called the Other Abductees, and they're all dressed in cow outfits, and they sing about cows.
Yeah,
and it's fucking great.
Just the creativity is awesome. Nylon Phoenix, obviously another one I definitely want to mention. Yeah, like Melbourne to its core is a very creative, artsy city, and it has been this way since The Catcher. The Catcher was a venue that was opened in 1966 down on Flinders Lane by Graham Geddes, who is a school headmaster. And there were a few venues that ran, live music, but the liquor licensing was so intense that at 6 p.m. it was lights out. And this was kind of in the aftermath of the Vietnam War, so there was a bit of, free love going around, people wanting to express themselves. And the Catcher was the venue that really kickstarted it because they had Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs come in and play, Masters Apprentices, Wild Cherries, and the numbers are shocking of what they pulled in. And I want to run through some of the numbers just to provide anyone who's a little bit, lacking of hope in the future of Melbourne's live music scene. Just want to give them a little bit of reassurance because on Catcher's opening night, they had 1,500 people through the door. This is just after liquor licensing has just started to be dismantled. People are still a little bit, can we go out late? Can we not? Are we allowed to go to this place? Political tensions, obviously with the Vietnam War just kind of finishing up. Just wrap it up, boys. Wrap it up. They brought in 15,000 people. The next week they brought in 2,500 people. So, number almost doubled. Bands were paid about $450, early evening, so the matinee shows. And the late night bands we paid about $300. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but you have to take into account inflation, equivalent to $7,235, $450 for the early bands, and with the late bands being paid about $4,823. Patrons would pay about $1 for entry, about $16 in 2024. These numbers are staggering, and this is a venue that opened a very unlikely opener, a school headmaster who did lose his job in the end, amidst a tense time sociopolitically, culturally. It was just very scary. People weren't sure what was going to happen, but the Catcher opened and it blew up. And right now, there are certainly many sociopolitical tensions and cultural tensions amidst a lot of people, but there are still creative acts like Pizza Death, Barbarians, Dole, Projectile, Nylon Phoenix, just, keeping creativity alive and assuring people that it's going to be okay.
But then also, I'm with you on that. Totally with you on that. And now I got a nice little piece of Melbourne lore.
The word.
And the thing is that it seems like Achy Peace is a new band. They've not been around for 10 years. They've been around for a few years. Quiet Neighbours is a few.
I'm a new act.
You're a new act. So there are new artists coming up, right? Yeah. I saw a band at the front bar of Last Chance, which Last Chance has made its appearance in this podcast early and then now again. And it was the Ratel opened.
Yeah, I know Ratel.
Yep, great guys.
Yeah.
And then the second band that went after the Ratel was called Poser.
Yeah, with a Z?
No, just Poser.
Oh, okay.
Right, Poser.
Different Poser.
And it was 5 kids.
Yep.
5 kids. Young.
Yep.
One of the guitarists had the full freaking
nice.
2000s,
Yeah.
And you could just see how raw they were.
Yeah.
How raw they were just playing.
Hungry kids.
Well, a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Hungry, obviously.
Yeah.
All the stagecraft had not completely been learned yet. And I was like, this. And I remember I was like, I said to myself, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was like, all that matters is they get up there, they play, and doing your first gig at Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, Look,
where
let's
you're
get
meant to
real
have
here.
first gigs.
There's a lot of other places you can do your first gig to cut the mustard. Doing it at Last Chance and Rock and Roll Bar just cuts a lot more out. If you can say, I played Last Chance, suddenly everywhere feels a little bit less tense. It's like we've already cut it at a place where putting the word Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar behind the fact that you played there, it's like, sign me up.
You're in.
Where'd you play? Last Chance. Where'd you play?
Chance.
Toad. Where'd you play? Bendy. Where'd you play? Nighthawk. Whoa, you've played a lot of places. We've played the places there. I mean, all the venues matter, but as it is, some depending on the community you're in, some venues carry more weight than others, right? And you can't really. I mean, the venue can do something about it in terms of what kind of show they put on, but the community really decides which venue is the be all and the end all, rightly or wrongly. But as a band, as an artist, got to take advantage of it. You got to take advantage of it. And I have been in too many rooms. Another thing I also want to say is you're probably actually going to be safer at a local gig.
Yeah.
I have found it to be a much safer experience. Because you are surrounded by people who very much are looking for the same thing.
Share your passions.
Probably a lot of shared values. And there are going to be times when you're in a room where it's like there are no shared values, but no one's really looking to start anything, or it's a very
No one's going to hurt each other.
Yeah, it's a very like low tense affair because there's no stress in any of the things you just did to get there, right? Like once you're there, the most stressful part of the whole event is over, right? There's no long queue. It's like, oh, I'm going to the band room. There's a bar there. Oh, I don't have to go anywhere. Oh, I can drink while I'm watching the gig, right? There's room to move, and even when it's packed, it's still not suffocating. And people are generally quite cool.
The rule of thumb that I like is metalheads are nice people cosplaying as mean people.
Yes.
And hipsters are mean people cosplaying as nice people.
Oh, this is the whole rugby is a ruffians game played by gentlemen, and football is a gentleman's game played by ruffians. That same analogy.
Same
I'm
with
with you.
metalheads, yeah.
I'm with you.
Metalheads are the sweetest. Metalheads are so nice.
You'll be like, dude's like dressed up. He's got spikes coming out of everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what are you gonna go home and do? He's like, I'm gonna go home and continue my cross stitching.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, cool.
We're gonna drink some nice tea.
Oh, very nice. What are you cross stitching? I'm just cross stitching. Yeah, I don't know yet. I'll go home and figure it out. Cool. You go do that. What are you gonna go home and do? I'm gonna go home and game. Cool. And it's like, oh, it's just all nerds here. You know, this is the new Comic Con. This is the Nerd Con. And you're right. Like, I've generally found like a lot. Like, I can't even think of a local gig I went that felt unsafe.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't think of one. It's hard.
There was one that I was working at. This is the only one where I got a bit like, oh, I don't know how I feel about being here. And it was a hardcore hip hop event, and I can't remember who it was, and even if I did, I wouldn't name. But there was a very different intentions of the audience. So when you go to a rock gig or a metal gig or an indie gig, you generally have people that are just there that want to hang out and socialize and enjoy the music. At this hip hop show, people getting on it, like really, heaps of lines in the bathrooms. We had to kick quite a few people out for passing out because they've just taken a bit too much. And also weirdly, mosh pits were also kind of a strange measure of the maturity of the crowd because they hadn't figured out how to mosh yet. They don't know the rules. I'm very excited to see moshing as a thing come into hip hop live shows, but they don't know yet. It appeared that they didn't know yet that, hey, if someone falls down, you pick them up. You pick them up, and you have a good time. Like, no one's mad at each other. Like, people were trying to like start fights in the crowd, and I'm like, it's not what this is about, man. Like,
it's funny you say that because years and years and years ago, this is probably going back like 12 or 13 years. I went to the T-Pain concert, and it was just here in Melbourne. I think it was at Rod Laver, and he actually stopped the show like halfway through his performance because there were some people like what appeared to be moshing.
Yep.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I think it's just obviously a coincidence, but it was like, guys, it's like, it's not a fight. It's just kind of body crashing into one another.
Yeah. And he just didn't appear to know about it? Or?
No, he clearly picked the right moment to stop it because it was getting out of hand.
Yeah, okay.
Like it was growing. We were probably a good 30, 40 feet away from it. And then we were suddenly getting like hit with people like bumping into us because they'd been shoved.
Not doing it safely.
And it was like, this is now becoming a fight.
Yeah.
You know? So he was smart to call it when he called it. And he was probably a little bit derogatory to the guys doing it. But at that point, it was just like, if this wasn't stopped, God knows how many more people would have been crashed into. So it's, I guess this is a bit of a funny coincidence. Yeah. And then on the flip side, I've gone to like a ton of metal shows where, mosh pit time. Yeah. Circle of death time. Wall of death time.
And it's absolutely like, it's not calling out rap crowds for not knowing how to rap, because rap and metal go hand in hand. Therefore, mosh pits, new metal, so much Limp Bizkit and Korn, there's elements of hip hop there, and people have enjoyed it. Suicide Boys.
It's just probably these two crowds that we're talking about didn't know.
It's the newer crowds. So, Playboy Carti, sort of Travis Scott sort of crowds that are just learning how to mosh,
and they just haven't quite
some growing pains. And they'll get there.
It's funny you mentioned that because obviously, Wall of Death is famous at Lamb of God concerts, and then obviously had to stop. Rightly so, because there were some incidents where people were getting injured, and it's sadly one of those like occupational hazards where even when you try to have fun at a mosh, sometimes you do get injured. Yeah, and hopefully it's not a bad one. Yeah. Again, like my view of moshing is, if everyone knows how to mosh, my worry just drops completely.
You're fine
to like a very, very baseline level. But if I look into a crowd, I'm like, these people have no idea what they're doing. Then I'm just like, nope, no moshing. Yeah. No moshing. If it's like everyone comes in there, it's like, here's my seasoned mosh card. As you can see, we've been doing 24 seasons of moshing, and I'm a senior mosher. All right, I'm an executive mosher.
All right,
and it's like
you've done Walls of Death. You were you stood in the middle for the Wall of Death.
You were at Philadelphia. Okay, to the front.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah,
show the kids
exactly. If it's like that, then I'm like, okay, the moshing is okay.
We're happy,
right?
We're safe here.
I'm still got my eye on you, but I'm a little bit more relaxed. But if I look into the crowd, it's like everyone here is pretty young. And if you grew up post 2012, you didn't really see the moshing that was happening quite regularly at rock and metal shows. Not just metal shows, rock and metal shows. That then led to them kind of stopping for that extended period of time. And then it is now sort of slowly coming back. And this is kind of weird, like you kind of have to experience it safely to know how to do it safely. And then by virtue of doing it safely, only then do it with other safe people. And then that creates a sort of a cycle of safety. Yeah. But when nobody knows how to do it and all they've ever seen is a video of how to do it, you don't know the intricacies of stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to do it safely.
I've never seen a band have to explain the rules of moshing until maybe the last 3 years, where they say, remember guys, if someone falls down, you got to pick them up. Yeah. And I was like, I remember the first time a band, an artist said that on stage, I sort of stood there just like shocked. And I was like squinting my eyes. I was like, oh, that's right. I'm old. I'm the old one here.
Mean way of being told. Hey,
this information's not for me. It's for them. Yeah. And I was like, cool. Yeah. But
hey, they're learning. The new generation of moshers.
And as long as my main concern is I don't want to see people get hurt at a gig. Because that just turns you off it completely. Yeah. You're never coming for a live show after you get hurt at one. The music can be bad. You might come back. But once you get hurt, it's over. Then you're not coming back. We've lost someone. And if that happens regularly enough, then the death of live music becomes a big reality. But
certainly I think a factor of it.
Yeah, and I think the good thing that I've taken away from this episode, which I'm like super thankful you've come on. I'm really
Thanks
happy.
So much for
like
having me on. Appreciate it.
And it's like I'm glad that we we straight away jumped into the finances, so people can like, oh, that's what it costs. You know, people can jump into like the locations, and knowing that there are people like DAL, Melbourne based. You know, shout out to obviously Melbourne pulling its weight. You know,
get on down, stay gold.
Exactly. And my fucking group chat, Stay Gold gets mentioned like at least twice a month. You know, it's like, oh, we're going for this. Oh, we're going for this sideshow. And it's like, okay, whew. You know, and it's like, so it's good to see that there are all these little things happening in their sort of, well, not little necessarily, but things like Self-Titled Fest, UniverseFest, DAL, people like yourself who are, you know, out there and continuing to, you know, push things and create and give people something to enjoy. You have music coming out, which people can then consume and enjoy and experience. And so all these little things, I always tell people, as I said to you prior to the start, the $300 that you give Metallica, it helps them. Yeah, a lot of people get paid. Their techs obviously get paid a lot of money. The roadies get paid a lot, and so the 300 contributes to all of that, right? And that's another stratosphere of economics. And put all of that aside. When I tell people the money you give a band for $10, and this is kind of like full circling the podcast. The money you give a local band for $10.
If you rationalize it out, it
goes so fucking far. You would not even understand. Because if you knew what it costs to do a single, if you knew what it costs to do an album, if you knew what it costs to promote, even just to get flyers printed, because there are services who do flyer printing and will go around the city and like fucking pay shit for you so that you don't get fined by the council, because they know what they're doing. All these things cost money. And the thing is that, as I said to you, I said Dream Theater could just walk into the studio for the next 6 years, record 3 albums, no need to tour. They own their own studio. Metallica own their own catalog, but they're only able to do that now because of the success of being Metallica to then go back and bring the catalog back. And what a young artist in today's economy can do, in today's world. It's almost in some ways never been a better time and a worse time to be. It's the best of times and the worst of times. Suddenly we're writing a Dickens novel. A Tale of Two Artists. Is that
nicely done.
You can start your career owning your masters. And it's so... Which is unique. Which is, if you had said that 20 years ago, people would have looked at you and gone, no. That's not possible. And it's like, yes, it is very possible. Now you can walk in to a studio and walk out and you can have full ownership of your masters. And if you couple that with a healthy support of people, I'm not saying people are going to like suddenly start becoming full-time musicians and paying their mortgage and everything. But you change the economics and the negotiation and the strength of where who's holding the carrot. Right. And record companies have their places. They do a function that is important for artists. That is, I'm not taking that away from record companies. Producers have a function. But I would rather the band paid the producer than the band having gone to like a bank and said, can you pay the producer and then I'll pay you back. And people go, oh, why is that? I said, well, because when you go to a bank, you're taking a loan and you have to pay that loan back with interest. But if you just had the money because you made the money from performing, then there's no need to go to the bank. You can go to the bank for other things. You can actually ask them to do other functions that maybe you need them for. And so that's, for me, why I think if you're a young artist, if you're coming up now, I was like, you tell me another time in history when you could own your masters from day dot.
No, it's interesting. And I do want to say, like, while financially the music scene struggles at the minute, it does mean that, you know, the cream of the crop do rise up. And so you are forced to get really, really good at what you do very quickly. And it's the same with touring in Australia. Because touring in Australia is really difficult, you end up with the best of the best who are willing to put together a tour that is financially, you know, almost financially very risky in Australia. because we're all just so spread out.
Yeah, and we don't have 400 million people. You know, if we had 400 million people, the economics of doing a tour is suddenly so different.
Yeah.
You know, but
like, respect to any Perth band that ever did that. Well done. We see you. We acknowledge you.
Essentially what we're shouting out is Carnival.
It's Carnival. Carnival. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Good job,
I was
Birds of Tokyo. Saw them live.
And you know, the guy from Carnival looks so surprisingly like the guy from Birds of Tokyo.
I know,
it's
right?
Weird. It's so weird. Did you also know that Tame Impala is just one guy? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no,
I didn't know that.
Who knew?
Who knew? And
knew?
on that bombshell, we will now say goodbye.
We will get out of here. I've got single Parasomnias coming out onto Bandcamp and all other streaming platforms except Spotify on February 13th. I didn't mention this earlier, but I've got another single coming out with my other band, Jaw. So Jaw is myself on the guitar and vocals and the incredible Jake Hansen on the drums. We've got a single called She Should Hide Now. It's coming out March 13th, so exactly a month later.
I hope you tell her before March 13th so she can hide.
Yes. Get out of here. It's March 13th. And obviously got UniverseFest happening. Free entry. Come on down to that one.
That's February 28th.
That's February 28th.
At the Catfish.
At the Catfish. Yeah, 2 singles, 1 Dylan Cosgriff, Parasomnias, Jaw, She Should Hide Now, and UniverseFest, February 28th. Get out there, get on it, do some cool stuff.
Fantastic. Dylan, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. This has been a good one. I mean, people are going to be looking at the time going, Jesus fucking Christ, what did these idiots talk about? But normally, I would play you out with some kind of music. But instead today, I'm just going to say thank you very much. And to everyone else, goodbye.
Thank you very much for having me.